From Delaware's most award-winning radio news team, this is WDEL Video News.
Among Delaware's top stories for Wednesday, April 4th, controversy over a bill that could put drug offenders back on the streets more quickly. We may soon know the fate of the Chrysler plant in Newark, and breathing easier, money to make school buses cleaner. And now the details. State lawmakers say they trust judges to give appropriate sentences to people convicted of drug crimes. WDEL's legislative correspondent Carl Konevsky has the story.
Sponsored by House Speaker Terry Spence, the legislation eliminates mandatory minimum prison sentences for people convicted of certain drug offenses. Mike Zerba, chief of the Wilmington Police, spoke against the bill, saying drug crimes are violent crimes and people are fed up.
We had 11 deaths from heroin overdoses last year in the city of Wilmington. All those deaths started with the sale of one bag of heroin. And these are the people that this law affects. The community has spoken, and I think the community has spoken loud and clear that they want drug traffickers and drug dealers out of their neighborhoods and in jail where they belong.
Proponents of the bill say without their hands tied, judges can impose more appropriate sentences. The Honorable Joseph Walsh, a retired Supreme Court justice, says Delaware needs to be consistent, saying the judge gets the final word even if a capital murder jury recommends the death penalty.
The judge can still theoretically overrule that determination. And if we are inclined to place that much trust and discretion in the judge in the most serious of our offenses, why are we not willing to do so in drug cases?
The bill now moves to the state Senate. Reporting from Legislative Hall in Dover, I'm Carl Konevsky, 1150 AM, WDEL.
What's the future of Chrysler? We may know as early as next week. A German magazine's website says Daimler Chrysler executives will be in New York next week to meet with possible buyers for the Chrysler unit, and they could close a deal. The magazine says the chances are better that a Canadian auto supplier, Magna International, will buy the unit. It also reports a sale to a private equity fund seems unlikely because of opposition from the unions. Daimler Chrysler isn't commenting. It's a breath of fresh air for kids who ride buses in the Brandywine School District. A grant will make their ride more clean and green. WDEL's Curtis Gray reports.
Each day across the U.S., about 25 million school buses like these transport your children to school, emitting diesel exhaust that can cause health complications. A grant for $570,000 from the Federal Environmental Protection Agency presented to the Brandywine District will pay for retrofitting 67 buses to cut emissions by up to 90%. Donald Welsh is regional administrator for the EPA.
Each year, school buses emit tons of diesel emissions that create soot and smog that can cause asthma attacks. What's more, the older school buses pollute up to 60 times more than newer buses.
Senator Carper, representing the congressional delegation, took a moment to praise the Bush administration for efforts to control emissions.
The diesel emission fund, they've done a good job and probably not gotten the credit that they deserve.
According to transportation workers who take care of these buses on a daily basis as far as maintenance is concerned, they have a long shelf life. And Dr. James Scanlon says that's good for the students of the district.
Absolutely, and our mechanics are great at keeping the buses up and running because they've got to be safe and pass inspection. But yeah, they're going to serve a lot of students for 8 to 10 years.
This is the largest grant of its kind awarded by the EPA. I'm Curtis Gray, 1150 AM, WDEL.
Police snuff out some cigarette thieves. WDEL News continues in a moment.
As you look for your college experience, make sure you look at Wilmington College, your key to success.
Too many children in Delaware are still living in poverty and don't have health insurance. That's according to the latest Kids Count in Delaware fact book for 2007. The report takes a look at the health and well-being of children. The latest book is a wake-up call to do something.
Poverty is such an all-encompassing issue that affects children in so many different ways. And although we're below the national rate, we're trending in the wrong direction. So we really need to take a look at what's going on with that. And the number of children without health insurance is increasing consistently. We just can't seem to reach a lot of kids that would qualify for some of our programs. They're just not enrolled, and we need to do a better job trying to get kids health insurance.
On the plus side, children are doing well in the state testing program.
The improvement we have seen over the past 8 years with this test, all the trend lines show that kids are improving in math, in reading. all grade levels, all race and ethnicity groups, all the numbers are trending in the right direction. And we always say, oh, education is not going well in the state, but when you look at these numbers, you really see an improvement.
Another good trend in education, there are more children in Head Start and early childhood education programs, and fewer teens are dropping out of high school. Teen birth rates continue to go down. The report information will be used by advocates to come up with plans to improve the lives of children. How financially literate are you? Well, fewer than half of all Americans are. That would change if one group of people had its way. WDEL's Ken Grant explains.
With the nation's savings rate at a 74-year low and more than 20% of Wilmington residents living below the poverty line, members of the business community, elected officials, and nonprofit organizations are launching a new campaign to increase personal savings. Tyrone Jones of the Metropolitan Wilmington Urban League says people are starting to realize that financial literacy is the key to success.
And as you're saying, individuals who are living and working below means who are now saying to themselves, look, I've got to take control of my own destiny. And with the support and assistance of a lot of the organizations that we mentioned here today, Nehemiah Gateway, Delaware Financial Literacy Institute, many of them are taking full advantage of that.
Jones was one of several speakers at a conference in Wilmington designed to focus on the importance of financial literacy.
We firmly believe in financial education. That is what builds individuals and families and communities. If you can take care of yourself, then everything else falls into place.
I have a young woman who moved here from Africa. She was here about 9 years. She went to our first conference from Purses to Portfolios in 2004, and she was deeply in debt. She started taking money school classes. She's paid off most of her debt. She actually volunteers as a coach to a senior citizen in the Delaware Money Management Program, and she had saved enough money in 2004, in addition to paying off her debt, to go back to school to get her nursing certificate at the University of Delaware. So Candy Bardaway is our #1 success, and Derek Lightfoot. There are just so many stories like that, that people who've really taken one of our classes, and we have over 100 volunteer instructors. Each one of them touches people in a different way, but they've really made an impression on people.
Ken Grant, 1150 AM, WDEL.
State police bust some thieves whose target was cigarettes. This is one of the robberies that happened in late March in the Newark area. You can see the man jumping over the counter and grabbing a box of cigarettes before accidentally dropping them all over the floor. Police caught Kenneth Potter after staking out a Sunoco on Route 4. He had thrown a brick through the store's window. He's charged in 6 burglaries. 2 others are charged in 5 similar burglaries. The Blue Rocks are back in the Royals fold. WDEL Sports and AccuWeather are coming up.
You could spend your money at the gas pump, or you could spend it on those sexy pumps at your favorite store. Let DART do the driving. Travel smart. Choose DART.
The Wilmington Blue Rocks are heading south. More from WDEL's Sean Green.
The 2007 Blue Rocks season starts tomorrow night in Myrtle Beach. This campaign is a return to the past as John Mizrock is back as head coach, and he brings an excited bunch of Royals prospects to Wilmington.
We actually got the uniforms and saw the clubhouse, and the players got out there. I think they got a new sense of excitement. We got the city here. Josh played in Burlington last year. This is just a little bit different than Burlington, Iowa.
The season starts with an 8-game road trip, one that Coach Mizrock says will be a learning experience on and off the diamond.
We're going to be on the bus a little bit. We're going to find out who likes what kind of movies and all that good stuff. So we'll have a little bit better idea next Friday.
Next Friday is opening day in Wilmington when they host the Salem Avalanche. Reporting from Wilmington, I'm Sean Green, 1150 AM, WDEL.
Delaware senior guard Tyresa Smith will learn today whether she'll have a shot at the WNBA. The league will hold a 3-round draft today. If selected, Smith would become the first Delaware women's basketball player drafted by the WNBA. She was one of 40 players invited to the league's pre-draft camp. Brian McCabe scored on a power play 2:18 into overtime to lift the Toronto Maple Leafs to a 3-2 win over the Flyers. Ryan Patolny and Mike York scored for the Flyers, who have 3 remaining games, all of them at home, starting tomorrow night against New Jersey. Your WDEL Delaware AccuWeather forecast. Cloudy with periods of rain today. There might be a thunderstorm, the high 58. Partial clearing tonight, the low 35. Tomorrow, clouds and sunshine, the high 48. And Friday, partly sunny, the high 46. Get news updates throughout the day. Delaware's top stories at the top of the hour on 1150 AM WDEL or anytime right here at WDEL.com, including news video from Delaware and around the world from WDEL and the Associated Press. I'm Melanie Armstrong. Thanks for watching.